What's that, Skip? Seano's talking about Supercoach again. Let's go. G'day everybody, it's Seano again, and I'm back with some more Supercoach content. Today we're going to be doing our team review February update. So I'm going to go through my team and let you know what changes I've made before these preseason games start. Now, before we get on with it, I'd like to thank everybody for their support. You've all been great. Thank you so much for all the support I've received so far. If you haven't already, make sure you sub. Do that right now. Helps me out a lot, and we've got some really good videos coming out, and the beginning of the season is going to start soon. So yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, do that right now. If you like the video, please like the video, and if you leave me a comment down below, I promise I will get back to you. Don't forget two more things. One is that we have my Discord channel where there's a really great team of people in there chatting about my team, and they can chat about your team and anything else really you want to talk about, Supercoach related. And yeah, if you also post your team in my post your team here section, we will do a video in the next week or two where we put your team up on stream and we go through your team. And the last thing is the leagues. Underneath me will be the leagues. Some places still left in the 20-person league. The unlimited league, there's lots of spaces there. And if you're interested in doing some cash leagues, please let me know in the Discord and we can probably do some of those as well. All right, let's get on to it, crew. We are getting into my team. As you can see, we have blanked out some of the places and we're going to start in defense like we always do. So this might be a little bit of a shock, but I've gone back to my original thinking. Was swayed here and there with the community, and everybody was jumping on Nasiah Wanganeen-Malera. I think Nasiah Wanganeen-Malera is going to be good. But I also think Jack Sinclair is going to be very good. And I think his role is very solid as long as Nasiah stays in the midfield. I think he is almost definitely going to be one of the 6 best defenders at the end of the season. And he's a little bit cheaper. And I just think scores maybe less up and down than Wanganeen-Malera. Nasiah might score you 150 one week and then he might get you 100 the next, depending on whether he gets tagged, attention from other players, whether he kicks goals or not. Don't get me wrong. I think he's probably going to be a superstar and I think you're probably going to want him in your team, but I just feel Sinclair is going to be very, very dependable back there in the back line. So the next player is a player that, if you watched one of my previous videos on Spotlight on Lachie Whitfield, you'll see why I'm picking Lachie Whitfield. Now, a quick recap, but do go back and check that video out. It was very interesting, and after running the stats on him, I've locked him in my team, and I've pretty much thrown away the key for a couple of reasons. One is that if it wasn't for a injury affected game last season, he would have been the number 1 Supercoach scorer in defense, higher than Jack Sinclair, higher than Wanganeen-Malera. He would have been number 1. It was just that he got pretty much concussed in the first quarter of one of those matches. And number 2, he's only 10% owned. How often do you get the number 1 player in a line who's going to be a point of difference? Like a lot of people say 10% or less is a point of difference. I'm thinking if I've got Whitfield and he comes out, scores 150 every week for the first few weeks, which might happen, it might not, but it might happen, I'm going to be a big jump ahead of all these people who are desperate to get him in. Will he go down in price? Probably. Are you going to want him by the end of the season? Definitely. So anyway, he's the one locked in my team at that position. Now this one is Connor Rozee, the next one, owned by 56% of the competition. I don't think he's one you can fade. He's got that awesome DPP, dual position status. And yeah, I think as long as he looks like he's going to play that back role, you just lock him in and he'll be one of those ones, at 50% owned. If he goes really well, great, everyone's got him. And if he goes bad, it's not going to be a big deal because you're going to be just in the same boat as everybody else and you'll be able to pivot to somebody else. Now, obviously, I've been thinking about another video I did about the mid prices back here. I've been thinking about McKercher. I've been thinking about Bergman. But to be honest, I kind of think the safest out of the 3 is Nick Newman. Why I'm saying he's the safest is because I think he has his role is set. We know what his role is going to be. We hope McCurch is going to play that back role, and they say he is. But, what if Wardlaw or somebody gets injured in the midfield and they chuck him in there? That's a big difference. I don't think they're going to be running Nick Newman for the midfield. And the same as what if Bergman doesn't work out in the midfield? Or what if he shares a lot of time with like Horn Francis or something like that, and he just doesn't turn out to be the man we thought he was going to be in the midfield? The difference between the Bergman and the McCurches of the world, their lowest score and their highest score, is quite a large margin, where I think Nick Newman's going to be very consistent, and I think he's going to even potentially be a keeper if he can get back to his old form. We're not going to go too much into the rookies, guys. Taylor, heard some good things. Lindsay, if he gets that back roll, the Eagles, he could be the Tom McCarthy of 2026. Sarong, and there's been a bit of talk about this Bulldog guy named Jax. Their Bulldogs do need a bit of help in their defence, so maybe he gets a game. Now, midfielders, I think this might shock a few people. We're just going to go, we're not going to muck around. We're going to go for the Bont. He's the best player. Let's get him in the team. Then we're going to go Butters. But we'll talk about Bont a little bit more. Owned by 21% of the competition, so still fairly low. If he comes out and smashes it the first few rounds, you're going to want him in your team. But you might not be able to afford to get him in your team until after the mid-season buys. And stay tuned for my buy strategy at the end of the video. So this is why I'm getting him. This team is, I'm pretty much calling this team flexible guns and rookies. So I'm going to have a lot of flexible options to get myself out of trouble if I get into trouble, plus a lot of guns and rookies. You'll notice that a lot of my rookies are on the cheaper side, none of these 200k guys, but we do have a get out of jail free card if we need to get them, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So, yep, we've got Bont in the team, we've got Butters, and we've got Nick Daicos. Now, why am I picking these three? I know they're not value. I know they're extremely high priced, but I can almost guarantee that these three guys, they're going to be in the top 8 midfielders at the end of the season, and you're going to want them in your team. So while other people are scrambling to try and get these guys in the team, I've already got them in my team. I can just worry about picking off other midfielders who are doing very well. And, you can once the season starts, we will see who is going to be most likely those top 8 midfielders by the end of the season. And they're the guys I'm going to target. So Young, I left him in there. I didn't even need to reveal him. Everyone's got him. He's another one. Don't fade him. Even though his body hasn't been great, he is owned by so many people and he has potential to be a keeper. His scoring is amazing. His points per minute is amazing. And the Freo have a really good run, especially early on. So I think he's one you just lock it in there. As long as he's playing round 1, lock it in, throw away the key and see what happens. Again, if he goes bad, everyone in the community's got him. It's not a big deal. So the rookies, we've got Grill, Sharp, Smith, Brody, Kyle, Retchenko, and McRae. Now, Grill and Kyle are basically why I'm calling this a flexible team, is because they've got the link with Rozee in the back line, which could potentially get me out of trouble. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Same with Grill, he's got that link. And McRae, I kind of hope that he gets a game, but we don't know. I'm really looking for a rookie that has mid-forward status to add to the flexibility of this team. So let's go down to the Rucks. So the Rucks, I think we're going to go Sherry and we're going to go English. We would like Gawn. Again, we don't know what the rules are going to do. If we see that these new rules have a huge effect on these two or other players, we might pivot from this. But at the moment, I think I've got one of the big price boys. English seems okay at 600k. So I think it's a pretty safe ruck line. Like these two guys could easily be keepers. Yes, this might be ones that we may have to pivot to a Gawn, or if a Grundy starts killing it again, or if a Luke Jackson got the number 1 role at Freo, we might want him. But for the moment, at this stage of the season, without seeing any practice match, without seeing any scoring for Rucks, I think it's a fairly safe Ruck option. Plus, I haven't spent up the most, but I've spent up enough that if I have to pivot to someone else, I can probably afford it. So in the forward line, we are going to go Sheasel, another one, just lock him in. Probably going to be the number one forward or be very, very close to it. Owned by 69% of the competition so far. He's not one to fade. If you do, he could really punish you. Number 2, Christian Petracca. So he's owned by 40% now, and I did a spotlight video on Christian Petracca too, and after watching that, I think there's a good chance that these two will be 1 and 2 at the end of the season as all forwards. And if Christian Petracca can get any types of reasonable time on centre bounce attendances or in that Gold Coast midfield, he could be a monster. He could score more than Harry Sheasel. So go back and check out that video. I'll leave a link for it down below, and I'll leave a link for the one about Lachie Whitfield down below as well. So check those out, and you'll see the stats which is making me pick these guys in my team. So as the number 3, we've got the man that everybody's got, Ned or Sam Flanders, whichever way you like to go. I kind of like Ned Flanders myself. And yes, everyone's got him as well. High ownership. Just lock him in there. If he does what we expect him to do, great. If he's a fail, then everyone's got him. Everyone's going to have to deal with it, and we'll be able to pivot to the next best player. And this one is one that there's a little bit of talk, but not a lot of people have got him. At 1% own, Connor Budarick. So one of the reasons I've got him, and you might have noticed in the midfield, I don't have Parrish. So this team is also, there's not much risk in this team, I think, in the way of risky injury players. So no Treloar, no Parrish. So Budarick, you can pick him as a forward, but he's been training in the defense down there at the Bulldogs. And again, they need some help, the Bulldogs, in defense. So he had a good little streak of 100+ scores in the VFL when he played that role. So I'm hoping that he goes down there. It's like a nice solid pick for 240k and can come out and get me 80+. 80 every week would be awesome. Go up some money, and then I can kind of see who the best forwards are going to be. We didn't really talk about the rookies in the mid. Oh, we did in the midfield. Rookies for the Ruck line is Reedy. We're not going to go White unless it looks like he's going to actually play. We prefer to have, instead of having a 0 on, we will have a score here, which means that's if Reedy plays. But if he does, he'll go at money. He'll make us some money, and we know that Supercoach is all about the money. And if White comes on and plays, we can always pivot him. Or if we need White in the future to get, say, Reedy becomes the number 1 ruck, we can drop one of these other forward rookies if they're not doing too well or they're not playing, and put White on. And that way we'll be able to get Reedy into the flex position. Or into the forward line, whichever we want. So again, that would be kind of flexible, but I don't think we need a non-playing player to start the season. The round 1, in this kind of team, I'd just slap the captain on Bont for round 1 and hope that he does okay. And then I would go and for round 2, 3, and 4, I think that's all the buys, early buys. You don't need a non-playing player because you'll have someone who you can use the captain loophole on. And surely by round 5, you'll either have an injury or a rookie that's not playing, and you'll be able to have a captain loophole then. So I think the money is almost more important than the captain loophole for the beginning of the season. And after that, for the other rookies in the forward line, you got Philippou, you got Marshall. This is why I like this forward line. I call it a dependable forward line. I expect all of these guys to play and to be in the best 23 of their team. So I don't really have any rookies on the field. I don't class Budarick, if he gets a game, as a rookie. He's a mature age and he's rookie price, but he's there for a role. And so if he gets that role, he should play every week. So I won't have to worry about scrambling if the rookie gets dropped. If I had Lombard on the field here and he gets dropped and I have to scramble to get somebody else on the field, I'm not going to have to do that. We've got Devon Robertson for the Eagles as our flex. Whichever rookie is playing and doing the best will be in this flex position. He looks good, and he looks like he will probably get a game, or hopefully get a game, we should say. So let's save this team up. All right, crew. So this is, another quick look if you're looking at the team. Now let's talk a little bit about the buys. So people are freaking out about these early buys. I'm going to tell you, calm down. You know, in the famous words of the Godfather, just calm her down. It's they're not going to make or break your Supercoach season unless you do something a little bit foolish, like have 5 or 6 premium players out on the one buy, which I certainly wouldn't advise. You're going to be okay. I'm looking at 3 probably maximum, and the way they're set out, I think that's reasonably easy to do. So if we had a quick look at the buys, clicking the buys up here, round 2. And I'm only counting premiums. You don't count your rookies in the buy because it's only 18. You know, it's best 18, so you don't have to worry about it. So Newman and Daicos are out, and that's it. So I got 2 in that one. Round 3, we have English and Bont and Petracca. So that's 3 primos. Again, we're not counting Buderick. He's not a primo or a keeper, whichever way you want to put it. And round 4, I got Sinclair, Whitfield, and Flanders. So no more than 3. And I think if you're fading someone, like if you're fading Whitfield because you think he hasn't got that early buy and you'd prefer to have somebody is, so you're going to get Bergman instead. Well, I'm telling you now, at the end of the season, I'm pretty sure that Whitfield's going to score more than Bergman. And if you get an extra 50 or 100 points up on me, and by the time it comes to round 5, because you've got 1 or 2 less premium players in your team because you pick players that didn't play the early buys, I'm going to catch you pretty quick. It's only going to take a 150 or 160 or 70 out of Whitfield with your Bergman's 100, and I'm going to get there within 1 or 2 matches. So don't freak out too much. I think you can still pick the players you want. You just need to make sure, absolute maximum I would say was 4. I'm setting my limit as 3 from any buy. So the other buys which you need to worry about is around 12 buy. There's a lot of players on this buy that you want. So I have 1. These are keepers. So before we do that, what we like to do at the every season, we count how many keepers have we got in the team. How many premium keepers are in this team? 1, 2, 3. Newman, I'm going to count as a potential keeper. If he gets that role and he scores like he has in the past, I think he can be. So 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to count Hayden Young. If his body holds up, I think he can be a keeper. I think he can be an M8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, yes, the rucks are a bit up in the air, but if everything went to plan, I would have 13 keepers in this team, and then I could just worry about upgrading the other players. Everything usually doesn't go to plan as Supercoach, but it's good to have a good start like that. So I'm going to give you another option after we've done the buys, and I'm going to show you what my flexible side of this team is. So around 12 buy, we decided we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out. And that's the most I want out of that buy. I don't want more than 5 out of that buy, and there's a lot of players on that buy that we want. If we have a look at the buy, we have a look at the old buy setup. So if you look at this round 12 buy, you got Crows, Gold Coast, North and Port. You like all the Gold Coast boys, including Petracca, like Rouse and Anderson's are got to be out. If you got Cherry, you got Sheasel, if you got McKercher, they're all going to be out. And Port Adelaide, if you've got Bergman, if you've got Connor Rozee, if you've got Zach Butters, they're going to be out. In Adelaide, if you've got Jordan Dawson, he's going to be out. This is a tricky buy to navigate, especially it's the first buy. So I'm trying not to have more than 5 players out of this buy, but it's tricky. There's a lot of players there. Another reason I like Whitfield, he might have this early buy, but there's only 2 teams out. Also in the middle of the season, the only other team his buy is with Richmond. So don't think there's going to be too many Richmond players I'm going to have in my team. Well, premium keepers are going to be in my team from Richmond, but there might be quite a few GWSs. So Whitfield, I love the fact that he has this buy. Then I think the 14 and 15th buys aren't too bad. And then the 16 buy is a bit of a problem. Again, you got Melbourne, Geelong, St Kilda and Bulldogs. So you have to be aware if you've got Bont and you've got a English and you've got Nass and you've got Sinclair and you've got Flanders, you could have a lot out, not to mention Gawn, Max Holmes, Bailey Smith. There's a lot of players, I think, at the end of the year that you might want in your team that could be on this buy. So it's the buy strategy for me. And if we had a look, so that's round 12. So round 13, we have basically just one premium, which is Whitfield. And round 14, we have, this, if we're counting Newman, 1, 2, 3 if Young is still in the team, and only 3 in that one. Round 15, we have none in round 15 out of premium players. And round 16, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 out. So that seems very reasonable to me. Gives me a bit of flexibility with the buy. It's just that round 12 buy that I don't like. Now, why this team is called the Flexible Guns and Rookies is because mostly in the past, we find that the rookies in the midfield, they score the most and they usually play the most. And we've got the most of them. We've got 3 to pick from, right? So this is why I like having these dual position rookies here. If there's one of these back rookies is playing and I can't find a midfielder, I can just chuck Connor Rozee in the middle. And then, maybe Grill's playing every week. He plays there, and then I don't have to worry if a few of these guys are injured. And I can do the exact same with Christian Petracca. So I could put him in front instead of Finn McRae. I think I can't see too many forward mid rookies that I'm confident going to play. So hopefully one of those turn up. But the same, so then you could have Christian Petracca on the team and one of these forward rookies could play. So literally the team could look like this, if you wanted it to. Say, I could have Devon Robertson up here and maybe Reedy comes down here if White was playing and, or Reedy's the number 1 ruck. But obviously I think it looks a little bit better the way I had it set up. That's why we picked the rookies. I know I didn't really go too much through the rookies. A lot of them, there's been a lot of talk and there's a few really good videos out there by different people about which rookies they think are going to be good. I think that's excellent and it's definitely worthwhile watching those videos to put the rookies on your watch list. But we're not really going to know until we see some of these practice matches. So that's why I'm saying this team is very flexible. And there's another flexible side of this team as well. You might see I have $117,000. Considering I've got the Bont, Butters, and Daicos, the 3 big boys in the team, having $117,000 makes me warm and fuzzy inside, to be honest. It means I can get to one of these high-priced rookies. If you need a 200k rookie, you can get there. If I needed to get Kitty Coleman in instead of Taylor here, which we didn't quite talk about, but yes, I'm also fading Kitty Coleman just for the moment. He could be in my team at the beginning of the season, but he might not be as well. So again, I think the risk between his highest and lowest and potential injury could be just a little bit risky. There's not too many risks in this team, as I said. We've not got Parrish, we've not got Treloar, and we've not got Coleman. So I'm taking out the risk, but we might need to get those guys in the team. So if we need to, also the flexibility side is we don't 100% need Bont and Daicos. Say we could just trade Daicos here and we could get, the player that we had in, I think, in our last variation, Sarong. And say we didn't want that gives us 174k to play with. Say McKerch comes out, plays that role and destroys it, and we need him. We can also drop Bont, and we did a video on Goulden, and we could get Goulden. So if we find at the beginning of the season some of these we need some of these players, we feel we need them, and I want you to go and write in chat right now and remind me, Sean, don't get fooled by the preseason game. So I love that first variation of the team, and I'm sticking with that until I see something that says to me, Sean, you must have these players. But please write it down in comments. Don't let me get fooled by those preseason games. So we could do this variation of team, and I've just freed up 314,000. This means I could get a Parrish if I need him. I could potentially get a McKercher, swap Taylor out for a McKercher if I needed him. If I needed to go up from Buderick to Treloar, I could do it. So I think I've got a way to get money, but at the moment, I just love the look. And we're going to go back to it because I just love the look of this team. And I think if I'm going to drop anyone out of Daicos and Bont, it's probably more likely going to be Daicos. One, because we know he's probably going to be the #1 tag target at Collingwood. And two, so he might go down in price is what I mean by that. And two, he has that early buy. They both got early buys, but the one, I think I would get rid of him for probably Sarong. I'd take the risk on Sarong, who doesn't have the early buy. So what do you guys think about that team? I think it's pretty good. I will try and zoom out so you can see the team all on one screen, because I like it. I know you guys like it when you want to when we do that. 1, 2, there we go. So there we go. There's the team. Please leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think about my team. Do you think I'm going to have to sell my Bont and Daicos to get all these other players? Do you think it's a good team for the moment? Like I'm saying, I think it's a good team until we see the practice games. Then I can make variations if I can, but guns and rookies, flexible team, and I really like it. This is by far the best looking team I think I've had so far. So, yep, leave me that comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for all your support. It's been awesome. If you haven't subscribed already, do that right now. Some great videos coming out. Like the video if you've liked the video. Like we said, anyone in comments, I always get back to you. And join that Discord. Chuck your team in the Post My Team here section, and we'll go through your team in a future live video, or just have a chat with some of the other cool guys and girls in that Discord, and they might be able to give you some hints. If you're a new player to Supercoach, they're definitely going to be able to help you out. So, and the last one, the leagues. Join my leagues. Let's fill them up. Make it a great season. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. So I hope everybody has an amazing day, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Take it away, Skip.